Hi everyone and welcome to Club 4 episode 19 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM20 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So we're going pretty well in the league. We are above Liverpool, which is fantastic. Now we'll talk about Arsenal in a moment or two. But so far it's going pretty well. We've had a couple of minor blips recently, but overall I'm pretty pleased with our league form. But today we focus on the Champions League and our group for the Champions League, in which we play AC Milan. Now we beat them earlier in the season quite comfortably. Can we do that to them twice in this group? Today is the day to find out, so let's get into this episode. So, as I said, we are sitting in second place above Liverpool, but we are a couple of points behind Arsenal. They're on 34 points, we're on 32. So you can see it's still very tight after 13 games of the season, as you'd expect it to be. And the reason that we're sitting in second and not in top position is that, one, we lost that last game against Liverpool in the last episode. And then since then, we've had a couple of slightly unfortunate draws. A 1-1 against Stoke and a 0-0 against Wolves. Between those games, we've done pretty well. We've gone through in the League Cup to another round. We've got a couple of decent wins in the Champions League group stage, primarily against young boys from Switzerland. And we've got some good wins in the Premier League, the likes of Birmingham and Sheffield United and Southampton have all been beaten in the Premier League. So form is pretty good, although those couple of drop points here and there between Stoke and Wolves, not overly happy about that. But today it becomes about the Champions League. If we go and have a look into the Champions League group, we've basically already qualified, which is fantastic, but I want to do the double over Milan and go through properly as much as we can without a blemish on this win-loss record in this particular group. And today is the big chance for us to do that. If we can beat Milan, I think we can beat Athletic Club Bilbao as well in the last game of the group. So let's see if we can get the points from them today and replicate what we did to them earlier in the season. Earlier in the season, we beat them quite comfortably away from home 3-0. So at home, can we get even better? We'll check out how we're going to do that in a second. But I just want to suggest that actually so far this season, there's been one major problem with this particular series and with the other series that I've put out. Now, there was a moment in the previous episode for Rolling in the Isles, episode 18, Club 4 episode 18, where I said something that actually, when I was editing it back later, really had an impact on me. And I'm going to put the comment and the clip in at this point and show you what I meant. It's kind of what happens with my teams, is that I think we produce some good performances. I think we are very, very hard to beat. But we don't often fill our boots as much as some of the other teams do around us. And that's just part of my nature, I guess. I'm not quite as attacking and gung-ho as some other managers might be. So the comment was all about my natural instincts as a manager and the fact that we're quite a soundly defensive kind of side, and that's how I normally play the game in most of my saves. And after a while, what it gives you is this sort of run of form here: 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. There's a couple of 2-0s in there, and then you get the 1-1 draws, etc. And occasionally, I forget, I think, that I'm playing as Manchester City, and we are, in theory, from last season, we are the second best side in this division behind Liverpool. They rightly won the title. And why on earth are we not taking the ball by the horns and playing a more attacking style of football? So I've had a thought about that. I've had the same thought in my other series, Mighty Moron, that's just started. Tomorrow, as you watch this, the third episode comes out of that, and I make a similar decision in that about trying to find a way to be more attacking in my play, and trying to find a way to kind of instill my version of the game onto my opposition rather than be a bit passive. I'm perfectly happy with the wins that we get and the amount of points that we accrue, but I'm not happy with the style of play particularly. I want it to be a little bit more interesting to watch, a little bit more gung-ho. Now, potentially this could fall flat on its face, and for the next half dozen games we could have big scoreline type of matches, but we won't get the points, and that could be a bit of a problem at the end of the season. So we're going to watch that quite closely. But at the end of the day, I just felt this is here for entertainment purposes, for your entertainment, but also for mine, to play the game and enjoy it. And I feel it's time to release the shackles a little bit. So we're going to be doing that over the next few episodes in a couple of different ways. But first off, let's go into the tactics page today and see what difference we've made so far. So here we are on the tactics page. You can see that the shape of the side remains the same. This is how the players all play best in terms of most of their positions. We could move Olart into this right-hand side attacking midfield role and McCann more central and bring Camavinga into play 4-2-3-1. Of course we could. But I quite like this setup. I don't necessarily think that the style of play, the formation is wrong. I think it's more about style of play. And the first thing we're doing, we're going to do this incrementally over the next few games just to make sure that we don't drift too far away from what works. We've moved into an attacking mentality straight off the bat against a team that we've already beaten 3-0 this season. I think that's a good day for us to try and do it. We're at home as well. So we've moved into the attacking mentality. I'm even tempted to go at some point into the very attacking mentality, and from the word go in most games, just try and dominate it. But for today, we're going to go attacking. As we progress, some of these instructions will change. We might add a couple in, take a couple away, etc. But I just want us to demonstrate that we are one of the big guys in this particular league, and we need to be showing it. So that's the decision I've made for this particular series moving forward. We're going to play what I hope is a slightly more attacking, exciting brand of football, and hope that that sort of continues to bring the results. The other main difference that you'll see in the side today, if we go and have a look, we've got a couple of injuries. Paulo Victor, who normally is on the bench in our first 11 setup, he's got a slight knock. You can see that Foden's not far from coming back, but he's got a lot of match sharpness, etc. to build upon. And Talbot is coming back from a bit of a knock, so he's not on the bench. But the main change is that Vasic has been dropped to the bench. Now, he's picked up a couple of goals, absolutely he has, but he's only scored 1 in 7 in the Premier League this season and 1 assist. And it's not been good enough. I've been really disappointed with him. So today, we give Steve Gibbons a go. MBE, should I say. If you don't understand the honours next to some of the games, you have to go back and watch some of my England episodes. But we're going to give Steve Gibbons a go today. He's got 5 goals in 9 games so far this season, 2 in 6 in the Premier League. Still not good enough, but he's definitely been the more prolific option when he's played. And he can play in a couple of different positions. For England, I've played him on the left wing. We've played him here before on the right wing, but primarily we use him as a rotation option in the striking role, and that's the position he's going to play today. So he comes into the side. He comes in as a complete forward, so he can get involved in the play and the build-up as well as bringing other people in and having a go himself. So hopefully that will bring out some good attacking flair from us in this particular match. So those are the changes that we've made so far. Obviously, the Vasic issue is if I can get him playing well, then he'll find his way back into the side again. He's only 22. He's not an old guy at all. So he's got plenty of time to re-establish himself if he finds the net from pretty much a sub-bench position for a little while at least. We've got Molt, who's just coming back into the side from being injured. And whilst he looks like he's doing particularly well in terms of his health at the moment, I'm just protecting him a little bit for a game or so. And we don't really need to play him today because we've already qualified from this competition. So those are the changes that we've made. You've seen where we've been in terms of the schedule. So for this particular match, we're going with Romero in goal, with Romario in the centre of defence, Magnoni at right back, Cruz at left back, Camavinga, Matilla and McCann in central midfield, Olart on the right, Ulysses on the left and Gibbons up top, with a bench of Who's Corp? With a bench of Cork, Cooper, Molt, Collins, Villegas, Cesar and Vasic. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So assertively we went with, I fully expect you to keep our good run going and win this match. There's no reason for us not to. We are already qualified. We beat them comfortably in the reverse fixture earlier in the season. And I think we're on reasonable form. Obviously, those couple of draws recently have dampened it a little bit. But that's a fantastic start, isn't it? 1 minute, 11 seconds into the game. And a decent free kick came in from this near side. I wouldn't suggest it was phenomenal. It was just put into a very, very good, dangerous area. It got a header on from Gibbons. And in the end, I think it was Matilla that put the ball in the back of the net. And if he didn't move too soon and didn't go too early, and he didn't, means he's onside. And there we go. We take a very, very good early lead, and we can settle into this game now and see if we can create a whole load of chances and take a few of them and gain some confidence from it. We've already created 3 and had 1 shot on goal, which was the ultimate goal that we scored. So we've started quite brightly, I would suggest. And that's got to be a very good thing when what we're trying to do is bring this team out of their shell a little bit. If you've got any other ways you think I could do that in terms of style of play, particular instructions that you would use, then do let me know in the comments below, and we'll see if we can implement some of them as we move forward. But this is all about now trying to get to the European Champions League final to end this particular series, but doing it in the best way we can, the most entertaining way that we can in terms of the football that we produce, but still winning the games and starting to hopefully get more goals. Today, it's not quite worked out as good as I thought it might, in the sense of we've reached half-time with that 1 goal lead. We've had 9 shots at goal and 3 on target, and it's the on target that we're really struggling with. Both Vasic and Gibbons have not been prolific this season at all, and it's about time one of them began to be. So passionately, this is a great opportunity to show all the pundits that they've been right to back you. We'll go with that one and send them back out again into the second half and just see if we can do what we say, which is dominate this particular match and put on a performance to be proud of. So we're going to say to push forward again, and then we're going to move into the very attacking and just see what it does for us in the next 20 minutes or so. We can always change it back, and it doesn't matter what happens in this result because we've already qualified. So it gives us free rein to trial things out. A good headed clearance, and then a second one from Matilla finds McCann, and he gets to open his legs up a little bit and run right the way through to the penalty box. Rides a challenge very nicely. Does he lay it off? He does, into Olart, who cuts in but slightly gets held up there. We maintain possession. Now, was there an offside on that for Ulysses? Was as he was out wide left? If not, it was a very nice goal in the end. Let's just check this one out. Had he cut back? He hadn't. I thought there was an offside decision coming our way on that one. I could just feel it. You could see that there was a little bit of a gap there. We remain 1-0, but ultimately much more impressed by the attacking intent. So let's see if we can continue that vein of form for the next little while in this particular highlight. We do. Olard takes the ball from them, runs right into the box, and again we're unlucky with Gibbons sitting right in the centre of the 6-yard box, fires the ball at goal, but it hits the post and rebounds and goes away harmlessly. But we've maintained possession and then we lose it. There is the problem that we are having. We are not clinical enough this season in front of goal when we get the chances. So what we're going to do here, we're going to take Ulysses out and we're going to put Cesar in. We're going to take Gibbons. If you don't score, you come out of this side now. Gibbons comes out, Vasic back in, and we've got Cruz at left back with a 6.5 and Magnoni at the right back with 6.5, and we've also got McCann with a 6.6 who's nervous. We're going to take out one of the full-backs and see if we can get a performance out of Cooper down the left-hand side. I'm not quite sure why both of our full-backs should be on bad games today particularly, but they normally perform much better than that. We're in the 81st minute and we still just got that narrow 1-0 lead, unfortunately. I'm going to leave it as it is just for today. We're not going to tamper with the setup too much today, but we're just starting that process about knocking off some of those rough edges. I like the fact that we were more attacking. I like the fact that we had 19 shots at goal, only 7 on target. But I suspect you and I both know what would be the problem when we go and have a look at the analysis page in a minute. We'll go and check out how our shots at goal happened and who it was that was responsible for basically missing quite a lot of them. So let's go into the analysis page and check it out. So initially what we can see is that the heat map was fairly well spread. We worked quite well down the right hand side with Olart, specifically in that attacking midfield area. Our best player on the day was Olart. He got 12 dribbles in, so he was obviously dead set on trying to beat his fullback with an 8.3. Our worst one was Victor Cruz down the left hand side in terms of our fullback, who only got a 6.6, and that's very disappointing and quite unusual for him. Both of our fullbacks have been playing quite well this season up until this point, and both had a bad day at the same time. In terms of our the areas of play, you'd expect the midfield to sort of rule the roost in that, and it does, but we had quite a reasonable amount of attacking options in that 17% of the action zones. The focus of attacks very, very wing orientated, wasn't it? Hardly went through the centre at all, but I suspect that's where Milan had quite a few numbers, so we went round the outside of them, especially down this right hand side. Didn't quite break through as much as I wanted to, though. In terms of the summary, you can see our passes completion maybe a little bit lower in some than I would want. Again, it's these fullbacks that weren't quite at the races. 88% pass completion. I wanted that just around the 90%. But some good stuff and lots of good distance covered. There's some very energetic players in this squad. And in terms of the passes that we actually had, Rivero is such a magnificent player from the centre-back position. 78 passes completed is phenomenal work. If we continue to move down the list, here we go with the shots at goal. This is what I was looking for. And these are the interesting ones to me. We've got highlighted shots off target and shots that hit the woodwork. And you can see that we've had Vasic had a couple of one of them, but the main culprit today was McCann from that attacking midfield role, and then obviously Steve Gibbons had one as well. So those were the main culprits of not getting their shots on target, but mostly it was McCann. So when we bring Talbot or even Foden back into the side, maybe they're going to be more prolific from in and around the penalty box. You can see that Milan had one also in that sense. So that's interesting. If we take those off and then we put in the shots saved and see how many were saved. We had a very long shot from Ulysses, but on this occasion it was Olart that produced the most shots on target that didn't quite get put away. So you can see there that there's a slightly unfortunate situation for him where he was certainly doing his job, but he didn't quite have the quality to break through on this occasion. And then we'll go to one last thing in terms of the blocked shots, and again it's McCann, isn't it, and then primarily Steve Gibbons that had the most block shots. So those are the areas of this particular side I think that we need to work on really. And I think that that's something I'm going to have to do on the training pitch a little bit and figure out how to get this group of attacking players much more prolific in terms of being in front of goal and actually taking the chances when we get them, because it is causing us some problems. Let's go and have a look at the shots. We will take away all of the Milan shots and just go to the Man City ones. You can see that we peppered the lower part of the goal quite well, but it was McCann with a load of missed shots. I think Gibbons, who came in to try and get the goals for Vasic, had two that hit the post, which was unfortunate for him. So if we can get some confidence into him, maybe that will impact his regularity in which he's hitting the back of the net. But overall, I mean, it's not a bad a bad performance in terms of creating the chances, is it? What was that? Did we say about 19 shots at goal we had in the end? Was it? Oh, I can't find it. Summary. No, I've lost the plot. Oh, there we go. Yes, shots at goal, 19. And that's pretty decent. 7 on target is not so good. And that's where we need to improve things. And that's what I'm enjoying about the analysis kind of page here, that we can try and find ways in which we can improve this side. Now it's about going onto the training pitch and doing that. And that's what I'll be doing with them over the next coming days and the next few games as we move forward. So that's going to do it for this particular section of this episode. I think it was a reasonable win for the 3 points, but ultimately not prolific enough. So let's go and check out what we're going to be up to next episode. So here we are back on the schedule page, having just played the Milan game in the Champions League, continued our very good form in that, 5 wins out of 5, which is fantastic. So what do we come back for the next episode? And I think it's kind of obvious, isn't it, really? If you look through this run of fixtures, we've got Arsenal to play in the Premier League and then Liverpool to play in the quarter-final of the League Cup. So next week on Monday, when we come back for another episode of Rolling in the Isles, that will be the intention, to play that double header. Arsenal above us in the league by a couple of points, and Liverpool, the arch rivals over the last season or so, in the League Cup. Fantastic big double header coming. So that's what we're going to come back for just before we think about going into this January transfer window. So I hope you'll join me for that. It's going to be quite an epic encounter on both of those occasions, I hope. Today, we changed the style a little bit. We will continue to do that, continue to work on instructions for both the team and for players. Give me some suggestions in the comments below about how you would do that, what sort of little tweaks you would make to become much more fluent in our attacking play. But yeah, as I say, thanks for joining me for this particular episode. It didn't quite get the result that I wanted, but it got the points, and that's fine. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button for me if you can. Helps it get seen by lots of other people. Until next time though, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.